Today's topic, how to live your dreams. Hi, I'm Doug Holt, author of Your Own Story, and this is your Daily Growth Hack, where each day we give you a tip, trick, or insight to help you up-level what we call the 5 to Thrive. That is your mind, your body, your soul, your relationships, and of course, your business. 4 days ago, I had the honor of having a video conversation with a business owner and an entrepreneur. Now, this conversation wasn't as typical as I normally would have. See, I've known this person for a very long time. And 2 years ago, they called me up on my phone and asked me for some basic business advice, which I gave to them happily, and I'm happy to do for most people, actually. Now, fast forward to today, they called me and I knew something was up, something was going on. I could hear it in the tone of their request, even though it was by chat. You can kind of tell, you know what I'm saying? When someone sends you a chat message, you can kind of get the tonality and the feeling behind the message. So I took them through a brief introduction coaching session. And when I have that coaching session, I do what's called the Wheel of Life. Now, I use several different modifications, and of course, I'm always talking about the 5 to Thrive here on the Daily Growth Hacks, but on the Wheel of Life, I expanded a little bit. I actually have 8 sections, and there's a lot of reasons I do that. But in that section, I had him say, hey, on a scale of 1, or actually 0 to 10, where are you in each area of your life? Now, this man was a magnificent person, a great father, a great husband, a great friend, and a good business person. But on his scale, on his wheel, he had mostly 3s, 4s, and 5s in almost all areas of his life. Now, by any stretch of the imagination, right, 30, 40, 50% fulfillment in your life is just sad. I'm sorry to say. And he'll be watching this. And I'm using him as an example only because we've all been there, right? See, what happened was, when he called up looking for some basic advice, he took my advice and started working. But only weeks later did he fizzle out. He fizzled out on what he was working on and just stopped. And then would not to start again maybe 6, 9 months later and fizzle. And start again and just flop. And at this time, the people around him were frustrated with him. They were tired of him talking about his dreams, talking about how he was going to help all of these people. Now, he had a great business idea, and it would help a lot of people out there, millions of people possibly. But he kept starting and stopping. And the reason is his why wasn't solid enough. So I did what I typically do with a coaching client. I took him through a process I call the 90-day game. And we gamified his life. We actually took his life and made it into a game. And I am happy to say, 4 days later, I just got a text message from him. And he said, I've already got people in my pilot program. It's up and running, and it starts on Monday. And here you're watching this on Super Bowl Sunday here in the United States, or listening to me if you're listening to the day this is released. How amazing. In 2 years, so 4 days, he did more than he'd done in 2 years, only because he had more direction. Now, what we did wasn't magical. I have years of coaching experience and as a mentor for people and business owners, and I know how to cut to the chase and get people to where they need to go. But my secret really is simple, right? I helped him identify what he really wanted, get really clear on why he wanted it, and then I helped him gamify it. So at the end of each day, just like if you watch the Super Bowl on Super Bowl Sunday, how do you know who won? At that end of the game, how do you know the winner? You look at the scoreboard. So what we did is we made it a game for him where at the end of each day, at the end of each week, at the end of each month, and the end of each quarter, he would know if he was winning or losing. So every day he went home and made sure he put a win, a W in the checkbox for himself. And now I'm getting text messages telling about how happy, how amazed he is. Again, compressing 2 years of time, 2 years of just guilt, frustration, worry of not getting where he wanted to go in 4 simple days. Now, that's the power of having somebody come in from the outside. That's also the power of really getting to know your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Yeah, tactics are great and tactics are helpful. And I'm not downplaying the tactics, but you need to have the mental clarity and the headspace to move forward with tactics. Otherwise, you'll fizzle out. So what I'm telling you today is I want you to grab your 5 to Thrive. Your mind, your body, your soul, your relationships, and your business. And where are you starting and stopping to your goals and dreams? And then when we ask yourself, when you've written that down, and I want you to do the work, when you've written that down, right? And we all have areas where we've done this in the past. So don't look at me, and I know I do, so I'm sure you do too. So don't say, I got nothing. We all do. We're all guilty of this to some degree. Now, where have you done this that you still want to move forward with? And then what I want you to say is, why did you want that goal? What is your real why? And then how do you clarify a win? Right? So how do you know at the end of the day that you've won, that you're working towards this goal and you actually have a win? Now, look, if you want more clarity around this, reach out. Reach out to me on social media. Happy to do an example 30 or 90-day game for you. And maybe if we have a group, I'm happy to do that too. And the author of your own story group, I'd love for you to be more involved. Go out there, build your community, respond to people's messages, help them on their journey. That's what this is all about. And that's why I started these daily growth hacks, right? I committed to doing 365. And here we are in the 200s of episodes. And by the end of this year, I would have done at least 365 of these. And that was my goal. And the reason is I had a why. The reason is when I started my journey years ago, when I started the author of your own story concept and path in 2007, there was no one really there to help me. I hadn't seen anybody doing this, living the life this way. I read about it, but no one was telling me how. And that's why I started this show, because I wanted to give simple little short tips, under 10 minutes mostly, that people could do each and every day to get them one step closer to their path. And I'd love to help you, and I'd love to help you even more. So make sure you get on that community. It's on Facebook, so if you're on Facebook, just go ahead and dive right in, but join the conversation. Like so much of the stuff that we talk about here on these daily growth hacks, it's about doing the work. You see, this man that I'm talking about, this business owner who compressed 2 years of worry and just hellish life into 4 days of greatness, right? Boom, he broke through the barrier with just one simple call, one simple clarity communication call. Now, I want that for you, and that's all about doing the work. That's it for me today. Go out and inspire somebody by being the author of your own story, and I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed today's Daily Growth Hacks. Please put your comments right down below, and remember to click subscribe. This way we can ensure that we're delivering these daily growth hacks right to you each and every day. On behalf of the whole team here, remember, go out and be the author of your own story.